Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarice.
And this is our reaction, review, all the above for Miss Marvel, Episode 4, Seeing Red. This one has a title.
Oh, wow.
I feel like Disney Plus always hides titles.
Yeah, did the other ones have titles and we just didn't know about it?
Yeah, I think they did, and I just didn't notice.
Great.
But this one, Seeing Red, obviously reminds me of the recent Disney release, Turning Red, which we both loved.
Yeah, very good movie. Highly recommend.
So hopefully we like this episode just as much.
I hope so. I stand by what I said by last week. It was so jarring and abrupt. And I just hope that, like, this episode brings some clarification to why characters were behaving the way they were behaving.
Yeah, what's interesting about the response to our reaction to episode 3 is that people kept being like, why were you guys confused? And I was like, I wasn't confused about what was happening. I was confused why characters were doing what they were doing.
Yes.
And I think that was what was missing for me, was like motivation.
Yeah. Things were just happening.
Yeah.
And like I was able to like follow the sequence of events, but I was like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's also a lot of very interesting conversations going on in our comments from Muslim people talking about how Kamala being a jinn is maybe culturally insensitive. So I'm very curious to see how the show tackles that, whether that was a bait and switch like some people think. And if you are Muslim and you want to let us know your opinions on that, put them in the comments down below, because we don't have like a point of view.
We didn't even know. Like I that's not something that I would know, because I'm not religious in any way.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, oh, did Disney done F up? Hey, we're gonna find out.
Seems like for some people they did, and for some people they didn't. And that's what's complicated about religious views, is they're not a monolith, right? It's not unilateral.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's gonna be to people's taste, and that's gonna vary by person.
Yeah.
But let's get into episode 4, because I'm excited to see the next adventure of Kamala Khan.
Let's go.
I said that weird. I don't. Yeah. Do you think they go to Karachi this episode?
Yeah, I don't know. I know you said you didn't want this to become like another like Marvel Globetrotter, but I think that is what's
I just kind of wanted, what I wanted was a Kamala Khan show where she like is like a New Jersey superhero girl learning to be a superhero. And I feel like it's going to go,
Yeah.
Too big, too fast.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, they're literally already in Karachi?
I guess so. They didn't want like the 28-hour flight.
After you ruined your brother's wedding, really? You'll be serving out your sentence for years.
That poor guy sitting between them.
Because your nanny is very old, and she insisted on us coming to Pakistan. I think that we need to call a temporary truce.
Are they going to explain what is going on with Kamala's school? Does she just leave with like weeks left in the year?
I don't think they will mention it.
It's the middle of the night. You should be sleeping.
Oh, come on. I'm just coming from a party.
Everyone looks great for the middle of the night.
Yeah, right? My family shows up to the airport in like pajamas.
Yeah.
Your skin is so dry. Are you again on one of your strange diets? Kamala, shall we go home?
Oh, moms never change. All movie editors are obsessed with traffic circles. We need to show they're in a city. Get me stock footage of a traffic circle now.
Yeah.
Is she not wearing the bangle?
I missed it. I'm not sure.
She's wearing short sleeves, so her mom would see it, right? Actually, she's not fully in control. I feel like her wearing the bangle on a plane right now might not be the best idea.
True, yeah, no, she's definitely not wearing it.
Oh yeah, she's not.
So big.
Oh.
Was the house always this big?
Yes, but it could use a
Oh wow, so they
paint
must
job.
live like an 8-hour drive from the airport.
Yeah, a few at least, right?
I want the job.
Well, I mean, it's
Maybe
broad
6.
daylight now.
Well, they might have landed at 4 a.m., right?
Maybe.
This is my Ammi, Aisha, your great-grandmother. What I could remember of her, at least.
Pretty good memory.
I mean, yeah, that looks great. That is beautiful.
If you have lived like I have, lost what I have, you learn to find beauty in the pieces.
It's another banger of a line.
I know, like...
This show is just like...
It's full of them.
There's gonna be so many Tumblr quotes.
I don't know if Tumblr
on t-shirts
still
and like
exists.
interesting like typography. Does Tumblr not exist anymore?
It's a napping pillow.
It's a 3-foot tall sloth.
Yeah.
Mala, please don't be weird. We're here to visit. The point is to visit. So let's go. Come on.
Don't be weird.
Our mothers have a lot of similarities. David, don't be weird. Don't be too loud. Don't be weird. Please don't bring up Star Wars.
Yeah, it's not the temperature. It's
Pani puri.
Original warned me this thing was death.
She's like you.
Oh, please. That was probably actually spicy.
That's fair. The score of the show is incredible.
Oh, it's so good.
The use of music has been like just so good the whole way through.
Yeah.
Train station. Yeah, sure. Train station, you go left.
This way?
Yeah, left. And then left again.
That
One
was
more
right.
left. And then right. Little bit right. Okay? And then go around that donkey cart.
She's like, you are
He
not.
just pointed left, then right, but said left, and then pointed left, but said right.
Maybe they like flipped the shot.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Just standing right there. Ah, yes, very unrecognizable.
She's still wearing the exact same outfit. She just put a mask on. They're still in the middle of the plot. Like, there's still people within, like, 20 feet, right?
Found you.
There are literal people like right over there.
Yeah.
Do all masked Americans have superpowers?
Well, how do you know I'm not Canadian?
Come on.
The police were right, like, right
Literally,
there.
they were right there.
Oh, I liked this action sequence a lot. The proximity to people in the open was strange.
Yeah. Honestly, no, the weirdest part about it was the knife to the face and then the sudden change of heart.
Well, no, he realizes that she's not his enemy.
How?
I don't know. I like that though. That looked of the
Oh, it
action
was
sequences in the
fun.
show so far. That was the most creative.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Partially just because Kamala's getting better with her powers, obviously,
Yes.
but I really enjoyed that. That was cool.
Welcome to the Red Daggers. Perhaps we can teach you to open your eyes.
I don't know if I would go in there.
What, even a Pakistani boy band?
Not quite.
Ooh. What a gorgeous set. Wow.
But for a descendant of Aishas, I'm sure we can make an exception.
Rad.
Your great grandmother's story is of legend. When you're ready, we have much to discuss.
Wish I could pull off that hair. The like long pushed back, like
Oh,
it's such a good look on some people and it's not a good look on me.
well, your hair's too curly.
Yeah.
The clandestines are not like the jinn you've heard about in stories or in religious texts. I mean, if Thor landed in the Himalayan mountains, he too would have been called a jinn.
So, what are they? And what am I?
I'll show you.
Okay.
This map shows you how our two worlds coexist.
That's pretty cool.
It says what you seek is seeking you.
Is that like an important message?
I don't know. But it must have been important to someone.
Iman Vellani's funny. And, like, not in, like, the typical Marvel way. She has, like, her own sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's not just quips. It's, like, uncomfortable teenage humor.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, at least they weren't captured for too long.
I guess.
Let him go. He's not coming with us. What? He made his choice. Now he has to live with it. Let's go get the bangle.
Sorry. Mommy.
You'd think after them wanting to, like, murder everyone at the wedding, he would have not want to hang out with them anymore, but...
Wow, it's his family. I don't know.
Yeah, but going with them means more, like, of the thing that he was running away from last time.
Yeah.
I think I like everything about this show except the clandestines.
Yeah.
Just because I don't get them yet.
No.
Even at my age, I'm still trying to figure out who I am. My passport is Pakistani. My roots are in India. And in between all of this, there is a border. There is a border marked with blood and pain. People are claiming their identity based on an idea some old Englishmen had when they were fleeing the country.
Do you think you're ever gonna figure it out?
But what's the rush?
Every single family scene in the show is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You like biryani?
Yes. I've never really eaten it out of a bag before.
I love that this show's like, what if we introduce a romantic interest for Kamala every episode?
Yeah.
Try karo. She just asked me if it was spicy.
Roasted.
I mean, just give it a smell. You'll know.
बैठिए मम्मी क्यों बैठिए अरे जरा बैठिए ना
ये क्या हो गया?
The suspended bed is so interesting.
I know, but I kind of think I would love it. The problem is we'd need a ceiling that could hold me.
I didn't need your stories, Mummy. I needed my mother.
Banger scene.
How are you eating this? You need strong teeth.
That was so sweet.
Yeah.
There is history in every thread of this fabric. So you always remember where you came from. You're not alone.
Let's go.
Am I a red dagger now?
It suits you.
Surprise.
What?
Did they teleport? I mean, I guess they've been there a day, but...
Does he have superpowers?
I don't think so. He's just trained.
Go, go, go!
That was pretty rad. That was pretty rad. That was fun.
Go, go, go!
I'm amazed that that thing can still drive after being pushed sideways for that long.
Yeah.
Because you would think the axle of the wheels would get bent.
Whatever you do, don't let go! Go, go, go! Hold on tight! We're not dead yet!
Just, are her powers soft to land on?
I don't...
Because it looks like they traded concrete for
another harder
hard light.
surface.
Get yourselves to safety! I'll lead them off! Come on!
Right, like she keeps landing hard on the light as if it's like a pillow, and it's not.
It can't be.
Right? I guess it is literally magic.
Driving on the opposite side of the road, I'm stick.
Oh, great. Kamala driving.
This poor man. Get off. Sir, get off now. You are not safe. Oh, nice.
Hey, hey! Nice timing!
She doesn't even have a license. Did the DODC let them keep their weapons? I guess
were,
they could have like hidden them.
I think they like appear, like they like.
But like if the guy doesn't have his belt on, does he still have his whip?
Maybe they got their stuff back.
No, because we watched them run out of the building, right? Okay, that was pretty cool.
Damn.
Kamala, it's too late. He's gone. We have to go.
Where do we go now? It's a dead end.
When did she lose her mask?
She just took that off when they walked in.
Why? Whoa! That looked cool.
Fine. Nice one.
Because it seems like the clandestines have like some super strength, but this guy's just he's good.
Yeah.
Enough!
If I could turn back time. Oh my god. They're Prisoner of Azkabaning this.
What do you mean?
Kamala is gonna use her powers to lead her grandmother back to her parents. And it's gonna be Kamala's stars that her grandmother saw in the past.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Like, I didn't think that there would be time travel in this, but now that she's there, I'm like, yeah. Unless it's a vision, but it doesn't seem like a vision. It seems too real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So half of the clandestines are dead. It feels like they didn't think this one through very well at all.
Here's the thing. I mean when I say I think everything works about the show for me, except the villains.
Yeah. I agree.
The conveniences around them, right? Like, how did they get out of damage control and then fly around the world?
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's like they literally mentioned it in one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure it's a 28-hour flight or something.
It's another editing thing where if they had put the breakout at the beginning of the episode, then we would reasonably think that there was time between when they broke out and when Kamala and her mother get on the flight to Karachi.
Yeah.
But because of the way the episode is edited, they edited the breakout after Kamala and her mom are already in Karachi, which to me as a viewer insinuates that
it's
that
happening
happened
around the same time. Yeah.
So then
so it just feels weird.
And the clandestines, they just don't make sense to me. Right?
Yeah. I don't really know. Like, it seems like right now they are just like the villains who want to like break the veil.
That motivation makes sense.
For chaos.
No, they want to get home. And the only way that they can get home is by bringing home here, essentially, right? It's the same plot as Man of Steel. Okay. But the problem I have with them is they are the same. They are related genetically to Kamala, right? But they don't age. They have maybe super. It seems like they have some level of super strength.
I don't think they are actually related.
Well, yeah, but Aisha was one of them.
Yes, I don't think they're related.
What do you mean?
Like, I think that they're the same species.
Right. But that's my point. Is that so? Like, the show hasn't given me any understanding of like what about them makes them Jin in this world, and what about Kamala makes her Jin, and how those two things are related, because they seem such separate thoughts. And even among the clandestines, they seem separate in terms of like do they have superpowers? It seems like they do, right? It seems like they have some form of super strength. But then if they have super strength, how was the Red Dagger guy, the leader of them, able to fight 5 of them?
Yeah.
They're like 100-year-old warriors. And he's a human, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And now he's already dead. So, like, we're not going to learn anything more about him, I don't think. And so it was just, there's a lot around them where they want them to be these, like, scary, super-powered foes, but also, like, regular humans can take them out fairly easily.
They're just kind of nonsense to me. Like, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but then it's like, why is Nani aging then, if she's half Jin?
Maybe it's only, like, full Jin, like, Aisha, like, maybe didn't age, but all of her descendants will?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I just, and now half of them are gone.
Yeah, literally
so it's
half
kind
of them are dead. I'm like,
okay.
All right.
I don't know. I really love everything about the show except the villains. I just, they're in a tradition that Marvel has sort of had a problem with from the beginning of the MCU. The MCU villains are not always necessarily the best fleshed out. They've gotten better about that in recent years, in my opinion. I think that a lot of more recent villains have been much better put together, but the clandestines kind of fall into a similar category that like Ronan the Accuser kind of fits in for me.
Yeah, they're just the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe in the last episodes we'll learn things that like make them interesting, but like they kind of just show up places and do things.
Yeah.
And how I just don't know. When they popped in Karachi, I'm like, literally how?
Yeah. It was like they teleported.
Do they have like their own plane? It would make sense actually for them to be wildly wealthy, right? They're hundreds of years old. They are globetrotting. So actually, I mean, I guess it's possible, but
I guess, yeah, maybe they did have a private. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it is possible. I don't know.
It is just weird. Like the editing is a little bit jarring, in terms of like how to set up the storytelling for your viewers.
But then on the flip side, everything about Kamala and her family is so good.
It's amazing.
And other than the proximity of everyone around the fight in the train station used her power so interestingly. And honestly, with the clandestines later, they're really starting to use Kamala's hard light in a way that's really visually fun to watch. So I'm glad that...
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah. The one like where she like backflip kicked the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like incredible.
Yeah. The like falling on that versus concrete thing is a little strange to me because it feels like it would be harder. Maybe not as like rough, hard, right? But like.
Yeah, them crashing a motorcycle into her hard light was I don't know. I think that's what the show's weakness, because the strengths, obviously the score incredible,
the score, the familial,
casting, the casting in like Nani incredible. I really like the younger Red Dagger boy.
Yeah.
Apparently he was on a show called I think Into the Badlands or something.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He's great. The veteran Waleed, I can't remember that actor's name, but he's like very, very famous Indian like Bollywood actor, I believe. And Kamala's parent, like, yeah.
They both like are so, they're both so strong and likable in their own ways, and and they're all their relationships together. Like I love that part of the show, and so it is just like very like I just don't care about the clandestine part. Like I don't. It's kind of like.
Yeah, you know? it's interesting. I think this episode was much better paced than the last episode.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question.
Although I still the information that they're doling out just still kind of feels like, all right, yeah, okay, sure.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Did you ever learn about the partition? Is this something that you knew about?
Yeah, in school.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've heard of it. It's in the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's, I mean, in Canada, eh? Like, it's not really like a...
Yeah, I learned about it in high school, though. I'm surprised.
High school?
I went to a special school, though, so I'm not... I guess I shouldn't be that surprised, but...
Yeah, no, it's not something that, like, I ever learned about, so this is kind of... I honestly wish I had more information about it because I'm interested. Like,
it is as bad as you think it might be.
Oh no, I'm sure that it is, especially if the Brits are involved. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I might have to go do some Googling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think next week's episode is going to be very heavy.
Especially, I have a feeling a majority of it will take place in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she is actually in the past. At first, I was like, oh, it's another vision. Like, she saw the train, right?
Yeah, no. I know. I think we're Prisoner of Azkaban in this.
Yeah. She's there.
Yeah.
I agree. I think so.
Yeah, it's such an interesting show because I think that if I were ranking Marvel shows, if you were to say Miss Marvel without the clandestine stuff, it would be my favorite. Like, it would literally be my favorite.
Yeah.
With the clandestine stuff, I think it like bumps it down a little bit for me.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's just interesting. I'm usually the guy that shows up for the superhero stuff, and in this show, it's the family stuff and the like. I would literally just watch a high school drama about Kamala Khan no superpowers with this cast.
Yeah.
Like I would love it.
Yeah, no, I think they've done a fantastic job of that, which is interesting because, in my opinion, I feel like that's the harder part to nail. And so maybe they just spent all their resources on that, and then we're like, and there's some villains as well. We'll just throw those in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just weird.
It is. I definitely liked this episode better than last week, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I'm so thrown off by it. It's such a... I've never, like, felt this way about a show before. Where it literally is like cut down the middle in terms of like loving one half of the show so deeply, and finding the other half of the show just kind of, as the kids say, mid.
That's a good way to describe it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm more excited though for next week.
Oh, way more into next week.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is going to sound bad, but now that like half the clandestines are dead, I'm way more into the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
If they're dead. They have superpowers. They might not be.
They may not be dead. Honestly, who knows? And I think
Waleed is definitely dead, though.
Yeah.
I think they could have found a way to make that have a little bit more weight. If I was nitpicking that moment, I think his death could have had a little bit more of a moment.
Yeah.
I get why they had to move on. I get like the sequence of it.
Yeah. Yeah, everything happened very quickly.
But and then they just get into another fight in the bazaar. And Kamala has a moment where she like kicks the guy and she's like, "Ooh, I did it." And I was like, I just wish the second fight had been a little bit harsher and a little bit more I wish there'd been some anger from the two of them after Waleed's death. I think that there would have been a way to visualize that the tone of the fight has shifted towards them being more aggressive because of... Kamala's never seen a person die before, right?
Well, and the thing is, like, now we're in the past, so I don't think we're going to get a moment for him at all, So
I think it was just the way that fight was scripted. I think that Waleed's death could have had just a scotch more weight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I think... despite my reservations about going to Karachi, now that I see that now that they've made going to Karachi so much about her family, I'm glad that they did.
Yeah.
Because what I wanted about the New Jersey stuff was the family stuff, and what we got here was a lot of the family. Like,
family stuff,
we're really diving into that, and I think the pass is also going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like yeah, it's such an interesting show.
I know this one's weird. It's strange to me. I feel very conflicted.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But I like it. I just like Aman Vellani so much. Like, I just think she's got the thing that makes you
Yes.
Yeah, that's our thoughts. They're all over the place. I'm very curious what the comments on this video will be after last week.
Yeah, I don't know. Even going through the comments from last week, I still stand by what we said.
Oh, it's our opinions. I'm always going to stand by our opinions.
When it's like it's one of those things where it's also like a reaction. Like we're not like tailoring or like curating our reaction. The reaction is it's how we feel in the moment to a thing. And if it feels absolutely bonkers and out of left field, then I don't know. We didn't pretend, like, you know what I mean? Like that was how I felt in this moment. And
well, and I think that what I find so fascinating about the reaction to our episode last week is that it is the entire spectrum, right? There are people who are very much in the camp of that they totally agree with our opinion, and then there are people who think that we're being like absolutely ridiculous and that it was fantastic. And and that's just about like our opinion of the quality of the episode. But then there's also the like undercurrent of these two camps of Muslim thought about jinn, and using jinn as a storytelling device when the Islamic faith believes jinn to be real. And there was one comment in the comment section that talked about how jinn are like trolls and elves. They're like a fantasy creature, but like a Muslim fantasy creature. And then there were so many other comments being like, jinn to the Muslim faith are a real thing that you can't. And so I think that reading those perspectives, and you know what actually is so special about the show, and why I'm so glad it exists, is that there are people like us, like you've never heard of partition, which is, sorry, but like a little crazy to me. It's a huge, massive historic event, right?
Yeah.
This show is going to open a lot of people's eyes to things about history, particularly around, I think, British treatment of India and Pakistan and the Middle East.
Oh, for sure.
That people don't know about. And I think that there's a lot of value in that, in telling that story, not through a narrative driven by a white character, but by taking a very historic, or by taking someone from the culture to tell the story of the culture.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of value of that in this show. And I think that because they're handling that so well, it is interesting that there is this side conversation about the cultural use of jinn and the concept of jinn.
Yeah.
And that those two things are side by side. And I think that what's so interesting about media is that we can have this conversation where both of those sides exist.
Yeah. And I really think it's so valuable that we have a story about about a Muslim character, a Muslim family, and we're getting stuff that's history, and we're getting interpersonal relationships, and none of it feels like kitschy or like they're using it to pander. You know what I mean? None of it feels pandery. It all feels like very real. Like these are actual people living actual lives, as opposed to like the sideshow character on a funny TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. You don't need me to tell you that. We all know that exists.
Yeah.
And it feels completely fleshed out, and it feels I don't want to say like normal, because like for me, like a lot of this stuff is definitely like out of my ordinary, but it's not for a lot of people, and I think that that's really cool, and I am thoroughly enjoying seeing that, like as a person who is far removed from it. I'm loving like seeing I'm loving experiencing it from like a heartfelt place, as opposed to like a slapsticky sideshow place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're not that far removed from it. You just don't eat spicy food, so we can't order Indian.
You lived in New York. You know what I mean? Like, I don't...
No, I'm just saying that, like, if I could, we would eat Indian in our house a lot more.
Okay, food, fine. Food, fine. But, like, we grew up in Calgary.
I'm just teasing you.
I don't know if I don't know if anyone that I went to school with or was friends... Definitely none of my friends were Muslim. But, like, I don't know if I had anyone in my school who
in
was.
Calgary?
Yeah, well, that's... But that's what I mean. Like, this is, like... I feel like definitely an outsider, but in a good way. Like I feel like I'm getting I feel like I'm learning. I don't know, I don't want it to be like a weird like educational tool, but like it feels like in a good way media is growing to actually be representative of other people, and not just having a token this person and a token this person, you know?
Well, but that's the power of art, right? Like, I think, I don't think that Miss Marvel is educational, certainly, but I do think that there is an element of the show that is bringing a culture, the creators of the show are bringing their culture to the screen for people of their culture, but also for the world, and to share culture so that we can have a deeper understanding of one another. And I think the value of shows like Miss Marvel is for people who maybe live in a place where there are no Muslim people nearby, will see a Muslim character on screen as this positive identity of just a human person and be able to connect to them and say, oh, I see the humanity in that character. And I think that that's why Iman Vellani's performance is important, but also just so fantastic, is she brings this incredible depth of humanity to Kamala, which can be tough for a high school character. It's high school characters are more often stereotypical than I think any other age, just because we have so many stereotypes of the high school character, right?
Yeah.
It is historically stereotypical in the way that we present teenagers in media. And so I think that the range of humanity that we're seeing in Iman Vellani's performance is bringing something to a Muslim character that you maybe wouldn't see if you live in the Midwest or, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that I don't know how they found her, but they struck literal gold. Like, I can't think of a better performance for this character.
Yeah. And
she's so good. Even in moments where some of the like super heroics of the show get a little silly for me.
Yeah.
Her performance is so grounded, even in those big broad moments, that it blows me away, really. She is so good.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see the three Marvels together in the Marvels. Like, because, you know, there was that element of like, you have these two older actors who are both very accomplished and very good, right?
Yeah.
Playing Photon and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Will they be able to find a Miss Marvel who is going to be able to like go to toe with them?
Yes.
And they absolutely did. I think. Yeah. I honestly, what I want is a Tom Holland, Kamala Khan team, or Peter Parker, like in the MCU. I want those two characters to have a team up movie.
That would be awesome.
Because I think they could have like a good rivalry, the Jersey versus the New York City rivalry, but also I think that they're both very funny in their own ways and also very like just talented actors. I think putting the two of them together is something that the MCU has to do at some point, because they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's crushing it.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, the show is fun. That we watch a lot of stuff where we're like, oh, I really like that for these reasons, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel's interesting because there's so much I want to talk about in the show. And if at the very least being interested in the ongoing discussion of a show says something about the fact that it's there's enough here that I want to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, you know, I don't know. It's something. Yeah. I'm really curious. You know what I'm most curious about the show is on a rewatch how it's going to feel.
Yeah.
Once we get to the end and rewatching the whole thing, how it's going to like come together.
Yeah. Yeah, I would this one I would give a rewatch.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think we got to go. So, we're going to end it here, even though I could talk about this episode for like 4 more hours. Like the secret base.
That was very cool.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Literally stunning.
Yeah, I loved that. The map.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
The map, beautiful special effects.
I don't know how it worked, but I was like, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get into the cousins. I don't know why they don't know how to use an iPhone, but like...
My map is frozen. All right, go about your business.
Her trying to find the historic building was exactly like me trying to drive with you giving me directions. Wow. Oh, you missed it. No, you were supposed to turn right there.
That's why we let Google do all the work.
If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. As always, you can follow us around the internet. My name is Nerdy Nightly.
And I'm at Claris Polaris.
Why did I say my name?
I don't know.
It threw me off. Y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye.